Hello, my name is Devin Pinches, and I am the Membership Director for the AnnieMac Works Real Estate Productivity Platform. I want to welcome you to the first edition of an essential series for AnnieMac Home Mortgage and the real estate professionals that we serve. Today, you will visit and learn directly from two industry leaders that have combined to sell more than 5,000 homes during the past 2 decades. Kelly Spade is a professional real estate agent in Berks County, Pennsylvania. She closed nearly $40 million this year. Russ Fitzpatrick is a professional real estate agent from South Florida that currently runs a real estate brokerage that generates over 2,000 buyer and seller leads each month. AnnieMac is proud to bring you a conversation between these two legitimate real estate rock stars. We expect that the benefits of this type of pass-me-down wisdom will help you model your own, even more successful real estate career. Due to COVID-19, this interview was conducted online, and our host wanted me to apologize for any technical difficulties, namely the nature of the green screen background. The interview was initially scheduled to be hosted on one system and was inadvertently changed at the last minute to accommodate our guest. We hope you will forgive the green screen glitches on the side of the interviewer. We think the value of modeling successful behaviors outweighs the technical challenges we face producing it. We hope you agree. Welcome to the first edition of Real Estate Rockstars, an AnnieMac Works National Lunch and Learn League event.
All right, welcome here, everybody. My name is Russ Fitzpatrick. I'm one of the founders of the AnnieMac Works Real Estate Productivity Platform. This is a new series that AnnieMac is really getting behind. It's called Real Estate Rockstars, where we get to feature some of our best and brightest real estate referral partners from across the country for something that I'm passionate about. And I want to tell you what it is that I'm passionate about. The distance between pass-me-down wisdom. I mean, the elite players in residential real estate kind of have the secret sauce and really understand how to make this business work. And the 92, 95% of emerging associates that haven't quite gotten there yet kind of struggle. And the reality there is that the expensive coaches and the expensive gurus out there are beyond the reach of a lot of the emerging residential real estate sales talent. So AnnieMac and I had the idea to bring in some of our brightest producers and referral partners from across the country. And my good friend, Michael Bauer, out of Harrisburg and Allentown, Pennsylvania, up by Berks County, nominated Kelly Spade, one of his favorite all-time realtors, and I can tell you why here over the next few minutes, why she's one of the most valuable realtor relationships in and around Berks County. But Kelly, we've only got to know each other briefly. I just want to personally say thank you for being my first real estate rock star in the series.
My pleasure. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. So like I said, Mike Bauer nominated you because he's been a strong referral partner with you for a while now. Can I start at the beginning of your career and kind of just talk through,
Sure.
Do you remember when you made the decision to get into residential real estate as a career path?
I do. So it was about 16, I've been in business 16 years, 10 full-time, and I have a Penn State degree in kinesiology. So yes, we are. So I started out teaching health and phys ed, and I have a love for sports. I have a love for kids. I love making people happy. And I think that's why I'm in the business I am in now. So I was teaching, enjoying myself. It just wasn't the push that I wanted. I wanted that promotion. I wanted to not have a cap that I could just keep maxing out on my business and being successful. So I did get my real estate license, and I was doing it part-time, and my business just kept developing year by year. And I was hiding in the bathroom, checking emails at school, rushing out of school to do showings and meet people. And it just became too much. I ended up getting pregnant with my first child, and I was like, I'm going to do this. I can do this for my family. I can make my own hours. And it literally just took off my first year full time. So now 16 years later, I am hopefully, keep moving up, but I feel like I'm at the top of my game. I've been through a couple different markets now, and this one could be the toughest, but I'm here to stay. I love what I do.
It's interesting. You said you were part-time for a while and then you went full-time 10 years ago. When you made that decision to go full-time, I think if my calendar reads right, that was a pretty tough time to be a residential real estate agent as well.
It was. I think it's always just very stressful to be in this business because you don't know day by day really what can happen and where you could end up financially. But you have the confidence, you keep doing what you're doing, and every day is something new does appear. So can I say, hey, I'm going to make this X amount of dollars and sell this many units each month? No, I mean, that could change in an hour. So if you have the confidence and you gain the experience, I feel like, it does just keep improving.
So do you remember about how long it took you to sell your first home when you got your license and you were kind of going?
I just remember I started on a team, which I think was a great experience. And I remember them saying, hey, go meet the buyer and do the agreement of sale. And what you learn in 2 months of real estate school to actually writing that offer, I think I probably cried. I was like, I have no idea what to put down here. So it does come with experience.
Course doesn't teach you any of the things that you need to actually sell real estate, right?
No, and I tell people that every day when they say they're going to go get their license. I'm like, experience is the best practice.
So the first crown jewel I think we grabbed out of this conversation is start with a team if you have the opportunity to do so. Because
I do, because you can learn so much, buyer agent, jump on showings, open houses, listings. I mean, you're not going to get 10 listings your first month of being a realtor. So yes, I've learned a lot.
Well, let me ask you this. In the first, say, 3 years or so, do you remember if most of the work you were doing was buyers and very few listings, or did you quickly
Correct.
get into listings? Tell me a little bit about listings versus buyers.
So buyers, well, I mean, when you're first starting out, is your friend going to trust you with that $300,000 listing and you never sold a house before? So that's the main point, is to gain people's trust and build relationships. So I was mainly working with buyers, and I did connect myself with lenders to, be knowledgeable on the buy side and what I needed to do and how I needed to prepare my clients. Of course, we all want listings, especially in a market like this, but that does take time. For now, I mean, I think the first 14 years of business, 13 years of business, I was mainly buyers.
Really?
Now I just looked in the past 2 years and I feel it definitely has changed with experience. And I'm probably more about a 60-40. So I do both. I do that myself. And I do enjoy doing both listing and purchase.
Good. So you said 60-40. Was that 60% listings today and 40% buyers? Okay.
Correct.
So that leads me to one of the most controversial conversations I have with realtors, especially the emerging realtors. When I talk to an average realtor, they don't have any formal process when they go into a home for a listing conversation. The word listing presentation is kind of faded. Do you have a formal process that you...
That's kind of like an ongoing joke in my office because people know me. For again, like 15 years up until this year, I got the call for the listing and I really didn't think I ever had competition. I'd walk in there. I usually, I would just print out a couple comps. I'd be confident.
Wow.
I typically knew the person. And I know my market so well that half the time I wouldn't have to take comps along. I could probably price it because I follow by the hour, what's coming on, what's going pending. So no, I go in, I take a tour of the house, I get them, I get to know them, vice versa. They can ask me questions and make them feel comfortable. My connection with people is really the first most important point as you walk in the door. So then, I sit down and I give them the, what they could sell their house for, what is a good time, how they need to prepare their house, and give them all the steps. And, sometimes it's a joke with my realtor friends, how long I'm in their house. I can do a listing presentation and be in and out in 15 minutes. So,
well, it sounds like your listing, it sounds like your listing presentation is your, their awareness of you in the market almost.
Correct. And I got to that point, 10 years ago, I'd probably still be sweating, be a little nervous. But now I'm confident. So, but now take it again, if you tell me the homeowner calls me and say that, they're interviewing 3 realtors, I have my A+ game. I have a book I make, with their house in, and I go over that. And, it's a little bit different approach with this type of market.
So you can pull out all the stops when you have to, but you don't have
Oh,
to
I have
as
one.
often.
I'm going to one at 1:00 today, and it's ready to go.
Good. I used to try to explain to people how I had an A listing presentation and I had my C listing presentation. Most of the time I just use the C, but sometimes you need the A, right?
You do.
So doing 60% listings and 40% buyers in this market, if that's still accurate in 21, that's phenomenal, because this is the worst. I don't know, it's like the best and worst market, right? It's the best market for booming real estate values and quick sales, but it's the kind of the worst market I've ever seen for inventory, right? Is that how it feels where you're at as well?
Correct. It's super scary. Just the prices and over asking offers, paying appraisal differences, cash buyers that I've never seen, millennials getting gift money that is unheard of. So it's been eye-opening. Listing side, of course, you take any listing, they usually sell within 4 days in our market, highest and best. My buyers, I have that conversation with them. I get them on the phone or meet them in person before we're ready to start looking, and I tell them exactly what our market is. If you truly want a house, you're going to pay over asking. You're not going to be doing inspections. And the most important thing is to have the reputable lender. I feel that is huge in the market we're in. When I'm a listing agent and I have 10 offers on a deal right now, I'm going to look over this afternoon. I look at their financing, and that is the very most important key to, my sellers taking their offers. So I think it's huge.
So that segues well into your lending partner now with Mike Bauer and AnnieMac Mortgage. How do you introduce Mike to a borrower or a buyer that you just met? I mean, what is your process that you go by to?
So all my business is referral business. I'm not paying for any leads at any time. So they're coming organically from me, from referral, people I know, friends of a friend, family member. So the comfort level is usually pretty easy. I'm not just cold calling Zillow leads or, realtor.com or Redfin, whoever it is. So my connection with them, they usually know who I am from the area. So I get them on the phone, I group text husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, and I, introduce myself and I say, hey, I have a team I work with. They're phenomenal. And when we need a pre-approval letter on a Saturday night at 8 p.m., someone's going to answer me. And when we have a question, over our final numbers, someone's going to answer me. And their team is what's key to getting our offer accepted. Mike's name is now very, popular in our Berks County market. Realtors, first thing they look at is who's the lender on the deal. So my comfort teaching my clients on how the process is going to be, they typically never even flinch or say, hey, I'm going to call someone else. And from that moment that they call Mike or his team, it's success from the start. So the comfort level is really key. And that goes along with the personality as well.
Yeah. To echo one of the salient points that you made, it was subtle the way that you made it, but I think the hardest transition that emerging agents have to make is the transition from a clerk to a consultant and advisor. And when you explained how you describe the market to your buyers and that you have a no nonsense, this is the way it is, folks, we need to get on the right page here or we're not going to get a house, right?
Correct, because I don't really want to drive you around.
Yeah. Would you agree with me that that's kind of the confidence that comes from experience? And these emerging agents that are really our audience today, they need to understand that they need to say they have to have the tough conversations with the consumer or it's not going to be a successful thing, right?
Correct. The honesty of this market has to be brought up from the start, just because I can show my client, there's not even 10 houses to show at the same price range right now, but we can do offer after offer. and, do asking price and have the home inspection. Well, if I'm not honest with them, I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to waste their time. I'm going to waste the seller's time. I'm wasting my time. So why not say it from the start? Hey, let's get you pre-approved. Let's see where you're at financially. And there's one more thing. I do not show a house unless they are pre-approved. So they know that from the start. There is no goofing around.
It sounds so silly that would be matter of fact to most professionals, but to watch these realtors drive people around with no pre-qual.
Makes me crazy.
And no credible pre-qual. Like they say Cabo San Lucas Mortgage gave her a, they just accept it and move on.
Yeah.
Get them with someone credible, right? So that's a huge testimony to Mike Bauer and the AnnieMac Home Mortgage Group. I want to thank you for that. But
for sure.
Here's a funny, Mike told me, this is just verbal, I didn't see anything, that you are somewhere in the vicinity of 35 million a year. Is that a fairly accurate estimate?
It's actually 36. He's missing a little bit.
Oh, he's underselling you. So
that was 30, the past 2 years each. Yes.
I want to congratulate you. Those are phenomenal numbers for anyone. But in your market, is that close to 10 or 12 closings a month?
It is. Our average price range in Berks County is about 220 to 230. I did go up a little bit in the past 2 years. I'm probably about 250 to 270. So yes, it is about 10 to 12 closings per month. We are still mainly on a 6% commission, 3 each side. I know some market centers are more 5. But yes, it can be, just craziness at times. But I do have a full-time assistant, and she is behind the scenes. She's also licensed. She's also on the text messages and email chains with the AnnieMac team that I work with Mike's team. So we're on the same page, communicating, clients, sellers, buyers. There's always a group, and she's involved. So I'm not calling her and saying, hey, we're going to do this, this, and this. She's reading it. She's knowing what's going on. And I really think between the AnnieMac and my assistant and I, that's why we're getting things done. And that's why, my success is continuing.
That's phenomenal to hear. And I appreciate that so much. It's interesting how an emerging associate might interpret that. Like they might admit, and you have to have a huge team to do 10 closings a month, don't you? But you really only have one personal assistant, and
Correct.
You rely on your AnnieMac home mortgage loan partnership to fulfill and move forward with transaction volume. Is that
correct? Yes. There? And I usually pull the numbers each month, but AnnieMac probably had 90 to 95% of my buyers in 2020.
Well, thank you for that. And thank you for endorsing it to some of our audience members. But, when I think of the disparity between most real estate agents and elite real estate agents, the thing that comes to mind is, I don't know if you really know these numbers, but 80% of realtors don't sell 12 houses a year, right? 80% of realtors don't do 1 sale a month. What do you think that journey, how can you describe that journey from where you were to where you are now in layman's terms that someone could really understand? I mean, what did you do that was so special in your mind?
I think, I know, I can look back and those first years that I was part-time, maybe 5 to 10 sales a year. That year I went full-time. I was rookie of the year in my office because I was, my first year full-time, which was great. And I look back and I think the touch that I have with clients is the most important part. I send thank you notes. I send handwritten notes. I send Dunkin' Donuts gift cards in the mail. Mike and I even teamed up with Starbucks gift cards. Both of our names are on it to send out. And the most important aspect of my business is staying in touch with past clients. Just touching them, whether it's a phone call, text message, card in the mail, a gift for closing, a referral gift because they sent their friends or family my way, gift cards. And I also do billboards. So that is my big form of advertising. I've probably been doing boards for 6 to 7 years, and I was one of the very first agents to do it in our town, in our county. But however, that all has changed in the past year. Now you drive through Berks County and you will see a billboard probably by 50 agents right now.
Wow.
So they've all jumped on the bandwagon, which I get. I don't think I've gotten much new business from the boards. However, it was more recognition. They're driving down the highway and they see my picture and they're like, oh yeah, that's right. We're going to call Kelly when we're ready to buy. We're going to tell our son to call Kelly. It's all referral. Just reminding people that I'm in the business.
Fantastic. Do your billboards reflect a seller-oriented value proposition, a buyer-oriented value proposition, or just
so my
memory?
main billboard is my face and it says sold. So you can take that either way you want. You buy that house and it means sold, or it's your listing.
Okay.
I love working with both. I'm not just a listing agent. I want to have both. I love doing both jobs.
Understood fully. A favorite question of mine, if my daughter, who's graduating Florida State next month or this month,
maybe, congratulations.
Yeah. If she told me she wanted to get into real estate, I know my answer. What would your answer be to a young adult?
I have this happen a lot. It's not easy. I feel that there's a lot of people just think we're making a call, showing a house, and we're making that 3% commission. I'm on my phone all the time. I'm communicating all the time. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love what I do, but I think there's different ways. Like I did it. I had a part-time job. I had financial support. You can't just jump in and say, I'm going to sell 5 houses a month this year as a brand new agent. It takes time to build up. My first maybe 10 years before I had kids, I sat in open house every Sunday. You have to put your time in. You have to get your name out there. Have a part-time job with it. Go on a team. Learn from the best. Become a buyer agent. And, it's a passion. You got to love what you do.
Is there anything specific that you would explain to an emerging associate that they must do? Like one takeaway from today, you'd say, dude, if you have to do one thing in the real estate business, this is what you have to do. There's
a couple. You have to be stern with your time and be respected. People can walk all over you in any business. So you need to earn their respect as you respect them back. And I also feel putting the team behind you, meaning, yes, it's just myself, but if you're going to have an assistant, make sure that assistant's your right fit, and also your lender. I feel lender and title, if everybody's working together on the same page, it's going to be flawless. You can sit back after you give that buyer to get pre-approved. What do you have to do? You're going to find them a house. Then the ball's in their court. That's when it becomes seamless, and that's what it takes to get the job done.
I had the same mortgage partner for 11 years until she retired.
Oh.
And I never accepted any reciprocal, nothing. It was just the tag team. When I tag, she goes in to close the sale. When she tags, I go in. It's just that.
That's exactly. It's so important. Correct.
It's hard to sell emerging associates on the fact that the loan officer and the title vendor are really a cabinet member of yours as a realtor. They work for you and with you for the same goal, but they always see it as, gimme, or they see it as, jumping from loan partner to loan partner. It's amazing how loyal the elite realtors are to the right mortgage professional.
Correct.
In this industry.
So, driving that business to the lender and getting that pre-approval, when it's flawless, when there's a team, Mike has his loan, the underwriters, the assistants, the loan partners. When we're all working on the same person and, receiving that email, text message, we're all on the same page. We know what needs to be done. The buyer's handing their documents in. I don't even want to think about it until I get to closing and I have that walkthrough, clear to close. That's the best email ever. But one other thing that they do for me is every Monday, anybody I send them to get pre-approved, there is a system that they send me, and I get an email list every Monday with their name, if it's a client's name, email, phone number, and that is when I check in with those clients. So that full email comes through. It came through this morning. I click right on their name and I'm sending them an email checking in. That's my own database. I have never had a lender do that for me before. So that's just a reminder. Hey, this is something else easy to do. You can get somebody pre-approved 2 weeks ago. And, in my line of business, I probably forgot about them.
Mm-hmm.
So the campaign for that is phenomenal as well.
That pipeline report really serves you
It's
as
the
a
best.
time blocking mechanism as well. It seems like you've built your Monday around that pipeline report as a firm time block to follow up on all those individuals, which I just,
Yep.
yeah, amazing stuff.
And I always CC Micah's team, a teammate, just so they can see what I'm writing. If the buyer comes back with a question, then, maybe they can answer it if I can't. So it's good. It's great communication.
So my last question, which I'm never sure how it's going to go, is my passion when I work with young realtors, emerging realtors, struggling realtors, is written goals. I find that having daily tasks that are written out, weekly, monthly, quarterly benchmarks for your career is kind of the difference maker between the haves and the have-nots. Am I going to have egg on my face when I ask you, do you have written goals and plans to achieve them?
I do. I have, the beginning of the year, I always do that. And funny you say that. We talked about coaches briefly in the beginning, and I did hire a coach for the first time in my career through my company. And I just started about 3 weeks ago, and I'm already loving it. She's making me come out of my comfort zone. I have goals written down. So I do. And that's why I like that extra push. I need that push because you can easily, sit back and say, hey, I'm doing this, but why aren't I increasing? I want to increase my numbers now. I've done the, 36 mil for the past 2-3 years. What's going to get me to the next step? What's going to get me to 45? So that push is important. I write down all my goals. I check them. I check my numbers probably each week. But it's just a good reminder.
Amen. And I want to encourage you. It seems like I'm several years older than you. I've been in the real estate business 34 compared to 16. I will tell you the magnificent shift in my career is when the goals started to be lifestyle oriented goals rather than just production and income goals. Because as you know, this industry will eat up your life if you let it. But being assertive with your lifestyle goals as much as your professional goals became something that I became very much aware of in the later years of my career, right?
Yes, I'm doing that right now. She's making me journal. I have my coach call tomorrow on the importance of the lifestyle goals. So I'm there.
We're on the same page. Well, I couldn't tell you how proud I am for you to have been our first guest, Kelly Spade.
Thank you. I'm excited.
And I'm sure this will help a number of agents across the country just help make their decisions about how they're going to prioritize their career. Want to once again thank Michael Bauer at AnnieMac Home Mortgage for nominating Kelly Spade, and just a big thank you to Kelly for your time and attention here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.